fastest growing account in North America. Thank you very much. As well as the second largest account in Canada, which is right on the toes of another account, being the #1 account.
Can you
in all
reveal
of
who the
Canada.
#1 account is?
What's that?
It sounds so thrilling. Who's the #1 account, or can you?
Whole Foods,
Okay.
but not by much. And they have 8 stores, you know, so I think with this promotion and a few other things that we have lined up, Community Natural Foods will be the #1 account for New Chapter Canada, so pretty impressive. Thank you all for that. And this is the topic that we wanted to talk about, because coming up in October, it's hard to believe it's October already, as soon as I walked out of the hotel this morning, that bitter chill already, it just happens like that, is Non-GMO Project Verified Month. So October is Non-GMO Month, and that's one of the topics that we wanted to discuss today. And what is Non-GMO? I think everyone in here knows. All the the media and everything out there now is making a lot of press. First it was the organic movement years ago. Now this is kind of the new movement, the Non-GMO Project and Verification. We all know what Non-GMO is. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, but I want to talk about what the consumers in the marketplace are really looking for and seeking out of products. If you look at the Non-GMO, the retail sector, this is SPINS analysis. Again, we don't have SPINS in Canada as of yet, but I know there's some companies working on getting some data put together for the Canadian marketplace. But in the U.S. marketplace, you can see that the Non-GMO Project Verified category of foods is the fastest growing category in the U.S. right now. And you're seeing that same thing up in the Canadian marketplace. I'm sure you're seeing that as well. More so than the hormone-free claim, more so than the probiotic content of food, more so than fair trade, even the raw food movement, and even gluten-free. They showed the movement there. There's steady increases with the gluten-free, but nothing like the Non-GMO Project Verification products or categories, seeing growth rates of up to 35%. And they're saying in the next few years that's going to keep that trend up. So, looking at core consumers and loyal consumers, that's one of the things we wanted to talk about, and it's where Kim was at that summit with the Alive Summit that we were at, and really the topic that we were discussing was how do we create more consumer advocates, and what really is a consumer advocate? Well, consumer advocates are customers that when they start taking a product and they feel the difference with it, they go out and they start telling 4 or 5 other people, right? And that's one of the things you see time and time again. My fiance, we're at a party and somebody comments on her nails, right? And what do they say? Well, what are you doing? How do you get your nails to grow so fast, and your hair? And I take our Every Woman. Then the 5 women congregate, right? Next thing you know, can I get that? Where do I get that? Next thing you know, they all go out and they buy their Every Woman supplement. And that trend continues. Those are consumer advocates, and I'm sure you see that as well quite a bit within this industry. And so what those consumer advocates really do is they become then brand ambassadors. Those brand ambassadors become brand ambassadors for both Community Natural Foods and New Chapter. Because what is that? Where do you get it? Right? Oh, well, I go to Community Natural Foods. Okay, and it brings them back into the store and this industry, which is what we're all about. So, what are the 3 major reasons supplement users are willing to try a new product? Is first, scientific research. So a lot of times they're going to go and they're going to do their research on the internet, and they're going to try and find some validation that these products actually will work and are efficacious, right? They'll look at consumer reviews and things like that. Referral from a friend or family, which we just talked about. And then also premium ingredients. One of the main reasons why consumers are willing to switch into a new brand is if there is the premium ingredients available, right? And that's where this Non-GMO Project Verified stamp comes in. What's nice about these core consumers and these loyal consumers is that when they become more educated about the ingredients in the products and their healing benefits, they spend more money in your store, right? And so that's one of the things where you take them from a less premium brand or less premium value brand multi into a premium brand that has a lot of the verifications that's certified organic. Obviously, there's going to be a higher cost associated with it, but they're going to end up spending more money in your store because they're looking for those premium ingredients. Also, they're going to generate new customers to come into your store. And that's really what's important, because a lot of times in this industry, and that's one of the things we talked about at the Alive Summit as well, is it's very difficult to get new consumers to come into the natural foods industry, right? A lot of times. It's really these consumer advocates that are the ones that will go out and spread that message and get them to continue to come in, and that's why we're seeing such explosive growth in this category. So what are GMOs? Basically, we all know what these are. They're the components of genetically modified foods, so they're trying to grow more crop. The whole basis of genetically engineering foods is they grow more crop, don't need as much water, and they can feed more people in the world. That's the basis of genetically engineering foods. However, being in this industry, we all know that the ramifications of genetically engineered food. But if you look at this, the term GMO is commonly used to reference crop plants which have been modified through gene splicing techniques, biotechnology. Controversial science creates new combination of plants, animal bacteria, and viral genes that do not occur in nature. The most common of these foods in Canada are canola oil, sugar beets, which provides Canada with 50% of its sugar, and then soy, which is a source of D-alpha tocopherol, corn, which is ascorbic acid. And it's one of the things is that corn and soy, these are very easy genetics to break within seeds. The wheat berry is very difficult for a lot of these companies to break that genetic code. So you don't see a lot of genetically engineered wheat in the marketplace. Alfalfa, isn't Alberta big in alfalfa? So there's a lot of controversy going on right now with the alfalfa market and genetically engineering those seeds because of the lifespan of the way that those seeds can travel from field to field, and pretty soon all the alfalfa in the world will be genetically engineered. So there's a lot of problems with that right now. So there's a lot of countries that aren't buying the exports of alfalfa that the United States and Canada is providing because it comes in and they can test it and it's genetically engineered. So there's big problems with that market right now. So to date, over 70 novel foods have been approved for sale in Canada. These include flax, canola, potatoes, soy, corn. Some of Canada's largest crops are being genetically engineered right now. But one of the things that you look at in the supplement arena is because there's a lot of blogs going out there right now. Blogs like Mama Natural, and where these people will get on and start doing blogs, right? And start talking about different products and what they use and different things like that. And some of the things that are coming up now is the big GMO movement. First, like I said, it was organic, and now it's a genetically engineered topic that's coming up in discussion in a lot of these blogs. But one of the important things that we want to realize is that GMOs are not allowed in certified organic products. So it's really key. This is a message that we want to get across to our consumers. New Chapter, as a supplement company, as a supplement brand, is certified made with organic ingredients. So to have that certification, we're not allowed to use any genetically engineered foods, right? So a lot of companies out there that are not certified organic, those are the questions that would eventually come up from consumers. And they're going to start coming in and asking these types of questions. So it's very important to understand that GMOs are not allowed in certified organic products. But now what the confusing part is, you can have a GMO seed that's grown organically. You see the difference? But you cannot put GMOs in a certified organic product. So it's a little confusing, but some studies that show, just a couple slides in here, I know you all know this, but just want to reiterate it. Some of the studies show that there's a link between GMOs and increased allergies, organ toxicity, hormonal disruption. So a lot of the customers or consumers that are out there doing the research on their own, these are the questions that they're going to be coming in and asking, right? And some of the stuff that you want to be aware of. So what are the impacts of GMOs on the environment? Over 80% of all GMOs grown worldwide are engineered for herbicide tolerance, right? So basically what they're trying to do is make it so that these plants, they can just spread these fields and grow more crop. So there's more use now of these toxic herbicides like Roundup, which has increased 15 times since GMOs were introduced. So these crops are now responsible for the emergence of superweeds, superbugs, which can only be killed with ever more toxic poisons, like 2,4-D, which is a major ingredient in Agent Orange, right? So this is what, again, this is the research out there that people are doing and blogging about. What are the impacts of GMOs on the environment? Well, this direct extension of chemical agriculture and are developed and sold by the world's biggest chemical companies, which we talked about. basically the long-term impacts are really not as known long-term. Those are some of the short-term impacts that a lot of the people are starting to see and beginning to talk about. But once these are released into the environment, these novel organisms cannot be recalled, right? So that's the thing we were talking about with alfalfa, right? Once they release that alfalfa and these seeds and once they started to spread, you know, carry throughout the field and be pollinated and things like that, that's where those seeds then begin to change over time. So there's movies out there about this. I'm sure you've all seen, you've done your research, but because these GMOs are novel life forms, these biotech companies basically can have patents on those seeds. So it becomes very harmful to the farmers, right? Because there's a lot of farmers in the alfalfa market that were trying to grow organically, but then what happened was these seeds began to cross into the other field and contaminate, cross-contaminate, and then their seeds became genetically engineered, and so they were being sued by these companies, right? To the fact that, how are you using our seed? And that's where those movies, I forget what that one main movie was out there that was talking to, what was that movie? I don't think it'd get it back to you, but I'm sure some of you have seen it. GMOs therefore pose a serious threat to farmer sovereignty and to the national food security wherever they are grown. So what can we do about this? Well, this is what consumers are talking about right now, is this label right here, right? Anytime that you see this label on a food or a supplement, you know that it's been through the third party. It's the only third party certification, right, in North America that people will go through to making sure that their product has been verified as all non-GMO, right? So this non-GMO project verification stamp, you'll see it on foods, you'll see it on some supplements. But basically what this means is this company, they require ongoing testing of all at-risk ingredients. Any ingredient being grown commercially in GMO form must be tested prior to its use in a verified product. They use an action threshold of 0.9%. This is in alignment with the laws in the European Union. After the test, we require rigorous traceability and segregation practices to be followed in order to ensure ingredient integrity throughout the finished product. For low-risk ingredients, we conduct a thorough review of ingredient specification sheets to determine the absence of GMO risk. So again, verifications along the way, making sure the paper trails are all there. Every step of the way, this company works with us. We go to them to get our products verified, and they guide us through the processes, right? So we have to seek out different suppliers, making sure all the traceability from seed to bottle has been assured that it has been not grown with genetically engineered seeds or foods. And you can tell with a new chapter product the level of difficulty that goes into that because of all the foods that we talked about that go into our product. You know, so the soy, all of those things that we use, the fermented soy, are non-GMO. Now what's important is there's a lot of other companies now that you see the 35% growth trend on the GMO category, non-GMO category. So what are a lot of other companies going to try and do? Take and market the fact that they use some non-GMO ingredients because of that growth trend. But again, unless you see that stamp right there, it has not been through the third-party certification, which is the only one in North America. So a lot of companies will say non-GMO on their package or non-GMO on their side panel of ingredients. The problem is with that is it's not legally or scientifically defensible, right? Because they don't have any assurances that there wasn't cross-contamination or anything like that that may have played out. So that's why it's important to look for that seal. So does purchasing these non-GMO project verified products help make a difference? Absolutely it does. You see that it's a non-profit organization, so they are committed not only to verifying and labeling products, but also supporting coordinating efforts between seed breeders, farmers, processors, manufacturers, as well as retailers, right? So there's actually a lot of retailers that can go to the non-GMO project, and they will help guide through becoming non-GMO project verified and doing different promotions and things like that, donation elements that can go to this non-GMO project, which is non-for-profit, which New Chapter has done some contests and things like that where we've donated money from sales and promotions and things like that we've done to this effort. So what's important to see is who's buying, right? Who's buying these products? And that's really one of the things that we want to look at here. Now, if you look at this survey that was done by Mambo Sprouts is a company that's very similar to kind of like a Live magazine. So they'll do a lot of retail research and consumer research and things like that, and they work really closely with retailers in the U.S. What they found was they surveyed 1,000 natural product consumers, and it says that consumers are buying non-GMO at a rate of 93%, more than any other category other than organic. So consumers, when they're coming into your store, these core health food consumers, they're looking mainly for two things: certified made with organic ingredients or certified organic, as well as non-GMO project verification. That's what those consumers are looking for. Now, antibiotic-free, hormone-free meat, poultry, 85% of those consumers are looking for that. Gluten-free foods, 69% of those consumers. So even more so than gluten-free is the non-GMO project and the organic movement, okay? 56% of consumers plan to increase their purchases of non-GMO project verified products in 2012, which they did because of the growth rates that they're seeing. What they found was among those consumers who seek out non-GMO foods, 66%, a large majority, 85% of them, want foods products to be specifically certified and labeled. See, that's what's important, is retailers like yourself doing the homework. That's what they expect, right? When they come into Community Natural Foods, those consumers have built a trust within Community, right? And they say, I want you to do your homework for me, do my homework for me, and go out and find these products and make them known and show me, have specific sections in stores that are certified organic, have certain sections within your stores that are non-GMO project verified, so I can just come in and know that it's been third-party certified, right? And that's what these consumers are looking for. And that's where it says 70% of these consumers wish their favorite retail stores provided more information about non-GMO, such as signage, special sections within stores, and advertising features. And we're starting to see that now pop up. Before 7-8 years ago, the organic movement began to take hold in a lot of the stores, and you started to see organic sections. Now that same thing is going to be happening with non-GMO project sections within stores. So, who's buying? This is the core consumer, right? This is the consumer most concerned about GMOs in foods. They're mothers of young children in their mid-30s living in urban middle-class households. Is that probably Calvary's demographic, right? This is the demographic. This is the consumer. This is the one out on the mommy blogs. This is the one out on all the blogs talking about this, gathering information, coming in, wanting that homework, like I said, to already have been done, and to find these third-party certified brands. So these core consumers then become consumer advocates, and they spread the word to their friends and family. And that's one of the things you see, we have products online, obviously, Community sells online, and a lot of the consumer reviews that we're now getting back on our Perfect Prenatal that you see on these websites, it's nonstop. It's, finally I found a product that's non-GMO project verified. Thank you for having the non-GMO project and organic. Every single review is all about non-GMO project verification and organic with these mothers that are taking Perfect Prenatal. So you can see it's very important to them. The non-GMO food and supplement category is the fastest growing sector, like we talked about. In U.S. retail sales, they say that this is going to grow about 13% compounded over the next 5 years. That in about, by 2017, that is going to be around $264 billion in sales in non-GMO project verified foods and supplements. So it's 30% of the entire market in the natural foods industry. People buying these products are going to be wanting to be purchasing organic as well as non-GMO project verification. Okay? So, going non-GMO in dietary supplements. This was pulled off of Nutri-Ingredients website, and that is basically a company in the U.S. that does a lot of focus groups within the industry. They did a manufacturer summit where they brought in a lot of the manufacturers all throughout the United States and had like a 3-day kind of seminar and workshop. And one of the topics that they discussed was the non-GMO project movement going on right now in the marketplace, right? And so what they did was they said that this was the title, supplement community, the supply community is not there with us yet, say manufacturers. Now, I didn't want to put in the quotes, or I put in the quotes, but I did not want to put in who these quotes came from, because I just didn't think there was a need. However, keep in mind that these are major supplement brands within the US, right, and in Canada as well. These are quotes from their CEO where he says the standard is very high to play in that realm. And the supply community is just not there with us yet. Now, when he was asked, the CEO, about the non-GMO project, he said he loves the standard set by the non-GMO project, and I think it's the absolute right standard, the CEO said. But we have zero chance to get some of our products certified by the non-GMO project, right? Why? Maybe because they're not certified made with organic ingredients. Or maybe they're just not there yet as far as who's they're buying from, to ensure all the paperwork and everything's in place, right? So they're just not there. This was a technical director from one of the value brands out there that's both in Canada and the US. And what he said was he noted the price issue, which for value brands is a considerable challenge, because some ingredients triple in price if they are GMO versus non-GMO, right? And so if they triple in price, what's going to happen to the price of the value brand product? It's going to have to go up 3 times. And that's the uniqueness and the difference with New Chapter, right? Paul Schulich, we've all met. Paul Schulich, when he formulates based on for himself and for his family, right? And we're not a value brand, for sure. We're a premium brand. So that's one of the things that we're not for every single consumer out there. But for those core consumers, for those consumer advocates that make up a significant portion of the sales at community, those premium brands may be for them, right? And so if you look at that, it's one of the things we talked about here, is that consumer loyalty in New Chapter Canada delivers the therapeutic results customers are seeking and looking for. They're wanting that verification, they're wanting those premium ingredients. 99% of our customers at New Chapter use 2 or more supplements a day. 40% of our customers use 10 or more supplements a day. How many people in here use 10 or more supplements a day? I pull at the shelf, you see all the supplements in there. Most of the consumers that come in there, they do. You know, they use a lot of supplements, whether it's a flax oil, you know, vitamin C, all those different products that they're taking. When you get a customer onto a New Chapter product, what happens is 38% of them will take 10 or more supplements a day versus another brand that's a more value brand, whereas only 24% of those customers will take 10 or more supplements a day. New Chapter customers refresh their supplements more frequently. They buy more frequently, meaning they come into your department and into your store to refresh their supplements more regularly. Also, they spend more money. The average transaction for a New Chapter consumer is $58. The average transaction for a value brand, as you can see, is $18. So there's your price difference, right? When you're looking at non-GMO project verification, when you're using organic ingredients, your cost triples and your retail triples. But the thing is that consumers are willing to spend the money. Why? Because New Chapter is ranked as the #1 brand when it comes to customer satisfaction and efficacy. So when people take the products, they feel the difference with it. And that's one of the main things, like with our prenatal. Now our prenatal, we're getting a lot of data back from retailers that have POS systems in Canada. And now New Chapter's Perfect Prenatal is the #1 selling prenatal in a lot of the key stores throughout Canada, as well as Bone Strength Take Care, which is the #1 selling calcium in a lot of these stores as well. Why? Premium ingredients, more efficacious. Customers are looking for those results. Alternative sourcing. This is one of the things where they're saying that we're a small company, that sometimes you have to ask suppliers to get documentation, sometimes you have to then go and get it and talk to their suppliers. And that's the difficulty right there. There he is. That's the difficulty, is that sometimes these companies are so small that they don't have the ability to go back in their supply chains, and their supply chain's not there yet to go out and make sure that all these certifications are in place, right? So if you go on to the Non-GMO Project website, what you'll find is that it lists all the products. You can go into supplements, you can go into foods, you can go into oils, you can go into all these different categories. and see which foods out there and which brands have non-GMO Project Verification approved products. When you go to the supplement page, you'll see this with New Chapter, and you'll see a lot of other companies that are working, and we want everyone to get here. That's the point, is a New Chapter. We want everyone to be non-GMO Project Verified and work through that, and a lot of companies are starting to do that now. So you're starting to see more and more. This is 92 products, right? We have 92% of our line in Canada has the non-GMO Project Verification approval on it. And then the other ones are in process right now, which are working to get approved. So all the paperwork's submitted. So we should have a line in the next 6 to 12 months that is 100% non-GMO Project Verified, which is what your customers are looking for. It's right on the bottom. So, in October, we're going to be doing this promotion with Community Natural Foods, right? Familiar with this promotion that we're doing as of yet? Kim, have we talked about this? Okay, so the Vitamix giveaway, obviously, this is a great machine. Does anyone have one? Yeah, wow, look at that. So the key thing to this was, we are a supplemental food company at New Chapter. We do believe, Paul will tell you first and foremost, get all your nutrients from food, right? That's the most important thing. So what we thought when Kim and I were discussing promotional giveaway is, what better way to have a Vitamix as a giveaway to get people to really use more of these fruits and vegetables and things like that in their diet, and then of course non-GMO Project Verified foods that they can juice in their Vitamix. So at each of the locations we're going to be having a display or end cap that's going to be built centered around this Vitamix, and the concept of this is we want to get people signed up for Community Natural Foods newsletter, right? Because that's one of the ways that we can spread education, is the more people we get signed up to your newsletter, the more notifications they're going to get. They're going to be able to go out and be consumer advocates and talk to other customers and get them into Community Natural Foods. So this is what I think a $500 or $600 machine, right? Very expensive giveaway. So that's one of the things that you're going to be able to build this end cap centered around there. And then what we thought we wanted to do here was what we call increased customer frequency. What does that mean? Basically, when you take a customer and comes into your department, and they've never been in your department before, and you sell them one New Chapter product, or you sell them one Sisu product, or another product, whatever it happens to be, you are bringing that customer into the brand at that point. Now, what happens is they take home that multivitamin, or they take home that one nutrient that you sold them, then they come back and say, wow, that really worked, it was really efficacious, I got the results I was looking for. They then come back in and they choose, they want to buy other products within the brand. That's called customer frequency, right? And that's what we want to start working on now at Community Natural Foods, because we've built, or you've built, a nice base of consumers, right, that have now tried a New Chapter product. That's what they like, that's what they feel gives them the best difference with their health. Now it's time to expand that. So we want to grow customer frequency. This is your number one selling product for New Chapter, Bone Strength Take Care. Does very well for you. And then we have the Turmeric Force. And that's another product that does very well for you. So the way we look at the business here is that of all these people that are coming into your store and buying these two products, remember we talked about that stat earlier, it's about 75% of Canadians are taking a multivitamin. But if 75% of the customers that are walking into your store or into your department are not taking a multivitamin, what does that mean? They're buying your multivitamin at some other location, right? We want to make sure that they're getting their multivitamin at Community Natural Foods. And that's one of the things this industry is seeing a lot of, is that the multivitamin category is not growing at a rate that a lot of retailers are happy with. So we want to help community expand the multivitamin business, multivitamin category. So build this on an end cap, and what would happen is the customer is going to come up. Since it's non-GMO Project Month, what we thought is we could then take the consumer that's buying the Bone Strength and say, you know what, New Chapter and Community Natural Foods is partnering this month. It's non-GMO month. So if you're buying a Bone Strength, New Chapter and Community Natural Foods is going to give you a 24 count of their multi at 50% off, right? So basically they're going to be able to buy this product for around, I think it's like $9. Now, the Bone Strength Take Care is going to be at an incredible savings as well, which is going to be the best price that they're going to find in the marketplace. So $39.99 is what they're going to be able to pay for the Bone Strength Take Care. and I think your regular price is around $48 a bottle. So not only are they gonna get $10 off or $9 off the bone strength,